Well, if obviously the people that are working with me as using me as a buyer's agent or using me as a selling agent, using me as a property manager, they're the type of people that would benefit from having these type of PDFs. Otherwise, it's just research and it doesn't really do anything. Part of what I do in the real estate course, in the real estate, part of what I do in the real estate industry is I help people in a do-it-yourself. I help people in a done-with-you deal, and I help people with a do-it-for-you deal. So in the done-for-you, I act for them to sell a property or buy a property or work as a property manager.
Yes.
When you're doing it yourself, if a customer wanted to join a do-it-yourself type program, then we do have a package that will put together the 25, the summary of the 25 suburbs as part of the DIY package. I didn't really want to do a big sales spiel here. That's not the purpose of this. But customers that come in as a 3D Big Tree customer for do-it-yourself, or done with you or done for you, they get the benefit of these reports, as well as workshops and other things that, again, I don't want to really just sell my products here.
No,
it is something, it's useful when you're using the tool.
And the purpose behind that is that people who are actively wanting to enter the real estate arena, you've prepared these resources to help them pick the places where their investment is most likely to be a good investment. That's the essence, isn't it, Amir?
Well, the essence is a real estate agent has resources that somebody without a real estate license doesn't have. So whether you're using a government data source like the tax reports that come out of the suburbs that tell you what things were actually sold for rather than what they were advertised for, whether you've got a resource of what property was sold on what date and for how much, whether you're using the non-advertised list, so before a property goes on sale, it's pre-market. If it's gone on for an auction, but the auction failed, it's now post-market. And of course, you have on-market deals. But there are things that are in pre-market that will never go on market. So there are properties that somebody hasn't even thought about selling. So really, there's the four categories. There's the off-market, pre-market, on-market, and post-market. A lot of resources that are available to a real estate agent cover all four of those things. And sometimes that comes from us actually knocking next door on somebody who sold a property to find out if the next door neighbour is willing to sell. And real estate agents do that by dropping letterbox pamphlets to say, the house next to you just sold for 1.3 million. Would you consider selling yours? There's a lot of things, and if you live in an area that has several real estate agents in it, you're probably familiar with these, because chances are you've probably received between 12 and 50 letters saying, would you consider selling your house? Would you consider buying? And I mean, that's just advertising that you get from a lot of different real estate agents.
But Amir, if you're in a suburb where that's happening, that's actually quite a good thing, because it allows you to understand what's happening in your own suburb in terms of prices and what's selling for. I know that we've talked about this before, but we have lots of real estate agents that contact us all the time to say, do you want to sell your property? Do you want to sell your property? Well, no, not quite right now. Thank you very much. What a lovely idea, but no, we're staying put on our nice little acreage property. But that is a good indicator if you're looking at investment around your own suburb, isn't it?
It is, especially if you're selling in your own suburb. If you're looking to buy in your own suburb, then the things that are advertised are only the ones that are successful. So if you think of it this way, if somebody next door sold for 1.3 and somebody on the other side of you sold for 1 million, they probably wouldn't want to advertise the 1 million, especially if the two houses were the same size, with the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms. So what you get in the mail is the examples they want to show you. You don't get the whole story. You only get the things that they want to advertise. Makes sense, doesn't it?
That's where you need someone with expertise that goes, well, actually, that house two streets over actually only sold for X, rather than why. So you need to, that's about getting a clearer, better, more accurate picture of the suburb that you're looking at, isn't it?
It is. And to use one of the British comedy shows, computer says no.
That's, I like that accent that you just used. Amir, that resource that we just spoke about, the top 25 subject reports in 8 states and territories, is a resource that you use for the people that you work with. Do you have another resource that is helpful?
Look, yes. A lot of the things that we've said before with the pre-market, post-market, on-market and off-market, real estate agents get a listing that they see before it's actually advertised on the paid advertised pages like domain.com.au, realestate.com.au. In the US, they call it MLS. In India, they call it 99 acres. So a lot of countries have these listings that don't show to everybody, and then there's listings that do show to everybody. So when you Google what's for sale in my suburb, that'll show up for the people who paid. So if you're an owner of the property and you want to sell and you've paid the real estate agent to advertise it on 99 acres or to advertise it through MLS or to advertise it through domain.com.au, you'll see these. But the resource that the 3DB tree people get is more the behind the scenes stuff, the access that I get on emails that I get randomly. And really, these are random, but the only ones I listen to are the ones that tick the boxes for what I'm looking for.
Right.
So, for example, if an investment property and I'm thinking that the rental return should be above 8%, then I'll look at the rentals according to all the different emails that I've received to narrow it down to something that has a rent average in that suburb that would be okay to buy at that price. So yeah, that makes it a lot easier, and it also means that the resource for 3DB tree people is to see things that aren't listed for everybody.